This is Robert Kraft, and I'm coming to you live on SNNLive. We're at the Bio CEO and Investor Conference 2019 in New York. With me right now is RJ Tesi from INmune Bio. It's a publicly traded company. The symbol is INMB. RJ, welcome to SNNLive.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
It's a pleasure to have you on. So for our audience, let's get an overview of the company, and then we'll go from there.
So INmune Bio is an immunology company whose focus is to reprogram the innate immune system to fight disease.
And let's get a history of the company. When did it start, and how did you develop to where you're currently at today?
So the company was formed in September of 2015, and we actually remained private until just last week. We had an IPO that closed and started trading on Monday, February 4th. Our focus is on clinical trials, developing programs that will make a difference at the bedside and will bring value to both patients and investors.
All right, so let's talk about that pipeline. What do we have currently going on in clinical development?
Yeah. So as the innate immune company, we're really focused on cells of the innate immune system, and those are three cells. There's the natural killer cell, there's the myeloid-derived suppressor cell, and as of this morning, after we received a Part the Clouds grant from the Alzheimer's Association, we are now focused on the microglial cell also. The NK cells are a cancer-directed therapy at minimal residual disease, the disease that causes patients to die from their cancer. For the myeloid-derived suppressor cell, we're focused on resistance to immunotherapy, particularly resistance to checkpoint inhibitors. And with the microglial cell, we're focused on neuroinflammation, which is one of the major causes of Alzheimer's disease that has been more or less ignored by the neurology and biopharma community.
So where are we at then in the pipeline for what you have going on?
So all of our programs are clinic ready. The INBO3 program, which is targeting myeloid-derived suppressor cells and checkpoint inhibitors, is in the clinic in a phase 1 trial treating patients. The NK cell program, which is targeting residual disease in women with ovarian cancer, has been approved for the clinic, and we expect to enroll our first patient in, shall we say, May. And the Alzheimer's disease program has also been approved by the regulatory authorities and should enroll its first patient in the May-June timeframe. So we are a clinical stage company with 3 programs in the clinic.
And where was the science for the company's technology developed?
So the two platforms, the INBO3 program, we in-licensed from Xencor. That's a public company, XNCR, which are probably the best protein engineering company in the biotech space. And this was a program that was really sitting on the shelf, and we, over many years, finally were able to extract it from them. Xencor is a great partner. They sit on our board. They are our largest investor. So they've been quite helpful in our development programs. The INmune program is really homegrown within the company, although I have to say Professor Mark Liddell, who's one of the founders, is one of the leaders in NK biology as it relates to cancer therapy in the world. So his insight and innovation was very important in the development of this program.
So what about your company and your technology is different than what some other companies that are currently in the immuno-oncology space?
So there are really a couple important differences. The first is that most companies in the IO space are focused on the adaptive immune system. These are T cells, such as checkpoint inhibitors and CAR Ts, and they're really focused on what we call the effector cells. So that's great, but half of the immune system are the natural killer cells and the MDSCs, which are part of the innate immune system. And just think, if you go to a fight, you want to go with both fists. And right now, the biopharma community has been focused on entering the fight with one hand tied behind their back. So by bringing the innate immune system into the field, into play, you have a much better chance of defeating cancer, and you have a much better chance of applying your immunotherapy to other diseases.
And what's your background? I mean, how did you come into all this?
So I was a transplant surgeon in a previous life. I was an academic liver, kidney, and pancreas transplant surgeon, but I've been interested in the immune system and inflammation and immunology since the very beginning. I joined industry in 1997, have been involved in both public and private companies, but always focus on the immune system and harnessing the power of the immune system in a way to better patient health.
And what's the target market size that you're looking to, with your first indications, enter into?
Well, if our lead program is the NBO3 program, which actually targets MDSCs and actually makes checkpoint inhibitors more effective. And the checkpoint inhibitor market is very interesting. Only a third of the patients that receive a checkpoint inhibitor actually benefit from them. So 2/3 are resistant. We believe we understand why half of those patients are resistant, and that using NBO3 to target the MDSCs in those patients, we can make those patients sensitive to checkpoint inhibitors. So we think we're going to double the size of the effective checkpoint inhibitor market over the next few years, and that's a very big number.
And from what you can tell me, what are some of the company's growth drivers now moving forward?
So as a clinical company, a public clinical company, we believe there's only one thing that really drives value, and that's clinical data. Because we have 3 programs in the clinic, we have a rich news flow associated with that data. So we expect that positive data points to be able to drive value. And, we think that's the only thing that makes a difference with a public biotech company is positive data, and that's where we put our efforts every day and every dollar we spend.
And where can audience go and find more information about the company?
So we have a website. It's www.INmune Bio. That's INMUNE Bio.com. You can find a lot of information there. We actually are proud of our website. We also have had a fairly active place in the media where there's, if you Google INmune Bio, you can Google my name, you can probably find almost 20 articles out there that we've had authored over the last year that are really in the lay press to talk about what we're up to. So there's stuff to find.
My name is Robert Kraft, and I'm coming to you live on SNNLive, and we're at the Bio CEO and Investor Conference 2019 in New York. With me again has been Tesi from INmune Bio, publicly traded company. The symbol is INMB. RJ, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.